Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Peace, mercy, and blessings from Allah be upon you all. Today we will explain the things or the acts of worship that require ablution. So let's start. There is something called obligatory ablution and preferable ablution. Let's start explaining first the obligatory ablution. There are things or matters or actions of worship that you must be on ablution. I mean, you must perform ablution first to be able to do them. So ablution here is obligatory in order to be able to do those actions of worship. It's a must. It's obligatory on you. Not a choice for you. I can do or I can do not. No, you have to do. And if you didn't perform ablution, then you can't do these actions of worship. And if you did those actions of worship without ablution, they will be invalid. Okay, this is the meaning of obligatory ablution. What does the preferable ablution mean? Preferable ablution means that there are matters or actions of worship that desirable or preferable to be on ablution before doing them. So ablution here, requiring ablution, is not obligatory on you. It's preferable. You have the choice to perform it before the actions of worship or not. So if you perform it, you will get reward. If you didn't, there is no sin on you. And you still can do these matters without ablution and will be valid. In new Muslim course, we will talk about the obligatory ablution only. And after that, we can talk in a separated lesson about the preferable ablution. Let's now explain what are the matters that require the obligatory ablution, that you must perform ablution first to be able to do those acts of worship. They are 3. You will not get confused. Only 3. The prayer, going around Kaaba, and touching the Quran. We will explain each of them now. Allah Almighty has commanded us in the Noble Quran to perform ablution first if we want to pray. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, Allah does not accept the prayer of any one of you who is in the state of hadith. Hadith in a simple word means impurity, until he performs ablution. Based on that, prayer is not valid without ablution. But if you prayed without ablution out of ignorance or forgetfulness, then there is no sin on you, but you must repeat the prayer, of course, after performing the ablution. The second act of worship that requires the obligatory ablution before doing it is going around Kaaba, which is a sacred house. The Kaaba, as you can see in the photo in front of you, is located in a town called Mecca in Saudi Arabia. So ablution is required to circumambulate the sacred house, Kaaba, as it's narrated about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. That's the first thing he started with when he came to Mecca. He performed ablution, then circumambulated the house. So circumambulation of the Kaaba is like prayer, and purification is required during it. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said circumambulation of the house is a prayer, except that Allah has permitted speech in it. So whoever utters in it should only speak good. The third thing that requires the obligatory ablution is holding and touching the Quran. I mean by the Quran, the book itself. The majority of Muslim scholars agreed that it's not permissible to touch the Quran, I mean the book as I said, without purification. Allah Almighty says in the Noble Quran, indeed, it's a noble Quran in a register well protected. None touch it except the purified. Based on that, it's not permissible for someone who did not perform ablution to touch or carry the Quran. The requirement of ablution for touching the Quran is excluded from those who have excuses, such as those who have urinary incontinence or lose control of farting disease. So they can't control themselves and need to hold or touch the Quran. Also, children, while they are learning the Quran out of necessity, because actually their purity is not preserved. They can't control themselves for a long time to be on purification or to be on ablution. So who is not on ablution, what can he do? He can read the Quran without touching or holding the book itself, like he memorized some verses from his mind. He can read from also his phone or laptop in a PDF copy of Quran. So in this case, he doesn't need to be on ablution. It's also permissible for him if he want to touch the Quran, but he is not on ablution. He can touch it or he can hold it with a barrier like gloves.